Today, I want to talk about the easiest way to solve a problem because sometimes our problems can be sort of overwhelming. And what ends up happening is we have this problem and that problem, and they might be just little things, little problems, but they all kind of add up. And then we just sort of shut down, shoo, and then nothing gets done and nothing gets solved. And part of the problem sometimes is we just don't have a really strong feeling about how to unpack them. So I'm going to give you some steps, 5 really easy steps. And if you follow through with these steps, it's super easy to solve just about anything because you get a lot of clarity. So first of all, think of a problem that you have, or think of something that's been kind of annoying you, or that you really need to work through. And really think about the outcome instead of the problem now. Because when we shift our mindset to think of what the outcome, the positive outcome we want from that issue is, then it's a lot easier to see clarity in how to move forward and instead of staying stuck. Because if we're just focusing on the problem itself, we stay stuck in the problem, we don't focus on the solution. So what kind of outcome do you want? And what does that look like really look like? And the clearer you can be with this outcome, you can feel it, you can taste it, you can see it, you break it down as much as you can, the brain triggers to give a response that you're looking for, because the brain just wants to please you. So as soon as you go, this is exactly what I want, and here's what it looks like, the brain goes, okay, let's figure this out. So that's the first thing. The second thing is what's going well in that situation. Because you're never going to be in any situation that you're not getting at least a little something out of it, or a little bit of a gift somewhere, even though it may not seem like it right now. What's going well in that situation, or what's working for you? Even if it's a really severely negative thing, you're still going to probably get a little bit something out of it. I'll go so far as, so I've had a lot of health issues, and they're awful. And, the downside far outweighs the positive. But I got to say, I got a lot of attention during those health issues, which was beautiful. And it showed me how much love there was for me in the world. So I actually did get a little bit out of it. And for that, I'm really grateful. So what are you getting out of your problem or your situation that, may be a little bit more positive than you think? So think about that one. Number 3, what's not going so well? That one's probably pretty easy, because it's going to be, easier to identify what's not going well. And don't just say none of it's going well, or it all sucks, or whatever. Really break down what's not working. Because when you can break down what isn't working, you can shift it to see, how you can turn it around to make it something, how it will work later. Also, next step is, what is my next step? My next first step. You don't have to have a 25-point process of what the next step is going to be. It can only be like your next first step or your next couple steps. Lean into the issue. Don't take the entire thing on. What is my next first step? And as we keep saying, what is my next first step, we actually end up climbing up the stairs, because it's like, okay, got that one done. What's my next step? What's my next step? What's my next step? And what this does is it makes the body and the mind feel safe in leaning in and changing something. When you're like, oh, this looks so overwhelming, you're not going to get anything done. But if you can break it down to what's my next first step, it's a lot easier, because you go, oh, okay, that's doable. I can do that. And then that gets done. And then you move to the next one. And then that gets done. And the next. And all of a sudden, your problem's solved. Finally, one of the fastest ways to change is accountability. So the last step is, who needs to know all this? And you might be working with a team. You might be working, with a spouse or a family. Doesn't matter who you're working with, whether it's work or home. The question is, who needs to know this information? So important to share what you're learning in your growth, especially if it's a team issue, because when we come to a group going, oh, I have it all figured out, first of all, it feels a little inauthentic. And second of all, it helps, it makes people think that they're less than. And because you got it all figured out and they don't. But when we come to them in a place of, hey guys, here's the problem I'm seeing, here's what I'm working through, here's where I think we need to go. What do you think? It involves them in the process, which makes them got some skin in the game. So that way they're like, oh, okay, well, what can I do to move this forward? Instead of them taking direction from you, they're involved in the process. So I hope that was helpful. And if so, just let me know. And I will talk to you next time.